Hello everyone, Benair here again with the final champion reveal for the magical Misadventure set being released into Legends of Runeterra. It's Ahri, and I say let's just go ahead and just jump straight into this video. 3, 2, 1, go.
See all this world has to offer. The Hunt Eternal.
Okay. 2 mana. Quick attack, 2/3. Attack. The first time I attack strike, swap me with the ally to my right, then recall it. Level up. You've recalled 6+ units this game. Okay. 2 mana, 2/3 quick attack. Attack. The first time I attack strike. So quick attack happens, you hit. She swaps with the ally to her right, and then you recall that ally that you swapped to the right. And seeing how attacks... I'm sorry, I took a second to process what that means. What I think that means, though, is that you attack with 2 units, right? Ahri on one side and Kinnan on the right. Ahri on the left, Kinnan on the right. Ahri hits for quick attack, and then swaps units. Kinnan then gets recalled to your hand. I believe Ahri then quick attacks again, because attacks don't all happen at once, like in Magic. They happen left to right. So Ahri will hit, swap, recall the ally that you swapped with, then hit the thing that ally was blocking. And frankly, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a super fast level up condition, but with all the recall support added for Kinnan, recalling 6 units in a game is chump easy. So yeah,
Captivating.
very intriguing.
Care that the hunt does not consume you, Ahri.
The others seem to wish it so.
Oh, that's a gorgeous board, by the way.
Tempest style, wind form.
Okay. Yep, then swap. Then quick attack again. Oh, new cards.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Funny, I was going to say the same. Light steps.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
And the elusive wasn't blocked. The elusive there wasn't blocked, so I'm pretty sure that even though they didn't show it, Ahri just got to hit him with that free attack.
I see you wear your cloak this day.
But not to hide.
Like a storm, I bring change.
My search is over. Now I hunt.
Very good, very good. It's not a big flashy thing like Pantheon or Rumbles. It's subtle, as Ahri should be. Ahri gains elusive and is now a 3/4 quick attack. When you recall an ally, reduce its cost by 1! Oh, wait! Hold up! I called that! I called that yesterday! I totally called it! Yes! Nailed it! Oh, sorry for shouting, I don't care! I had a random thought going that 9 lives would be so much better that when it's recalled, it gets its cost reduced by 1. Roll the clip! But we will have to wait and see what Ahri does. Ahri might do something with spells that, or some units, like cards that are recalled, cost less. I don't know if that's what she's going to do, but if she does that, like, cards you recall cost 1 less to cast. Okay. I am in no way saying that I actually think that that's what Ahri does. But if that's what she does, this card would be really good. It wouldn't even be broken. It'd just be really good. Oh! Damn, that is... Oh, I don't care. That is perfect. There are so many cards that are produce really good effects, but they're just a little too expensive. They're just a little bit too much, like the Silent Storm that creates the 7/3. At 5 mana, it's a little too much to recall and play over and over. But with Ahri leveled up, that's not an issue anymore. It's not. Kinnan, you recall Kinnan? He costs 0 to play again. Oh, you have to retreat, retreat a 4-cost unit. You can now use return on it because it now only costs 3. This is such a powerful level up effect. Like, it's mind-boggling, the implications of this with all the new support cards we've gotten. Like, 9 Lives is the biggest proponent of it because when you recall an ally, reduce its cost by 1. And 9 Lives, I forgot. Alright, you know what? No. Finish the video. We'll get into this. But oh my god, I'm gonna geek out on
World's
this.
heart beats with mine.
Oh my god.
Be still. Start running.
Yep. Wait, what? Whoa, hold up. She only does it once. Why is she doing it multiple times?
Heart.
Attack. And she changes from... She did say, like, right, like... The first time I attack strike, swap me with the ally to my right, then recall it. That changed when she leveled up. It now reads... Each time I attack strike me with the ally to my right, then recall it. Oh, that's so janky.
Beats with mine.
It just keeps going. You can just buff just her. Oh my god. And now the droplet costs 0. Play droplet. Disciplines the Ahri.
Start running.
Oh. Swap, recall. Hit, swap, recall. Hit, swap, recall.
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
Right. Hasagi.
Any cost!
She's
No
so
more
sassy.
running.
Hello, my prey.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Remember this moment.
You drew too many cards. Oh! Okay. That's... like the video. Holy! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's so good! Oh, she's so busted! Oh! Okay. Alright, let's... Wow! Okay, I need a second. Let's go ahead and head over to Mobilytics. Take a look at these cards. Oh, these cards aren't even loaded yet. Load Mobilytics. Load. There we go. Okay. Okay. That's so dumb. Oh, I can't believe I called it. Yes, I called the cost reduction because that's what I was saying in that other video, that these units just need to be made a little cheaper. If you're going to be recalling them over and over, they have to be made cheaper. And they did it. I got one right. All right. So, let's... Well, you know what? We're going to save Ahri for last because Ahri, there's a lot of implications with her effect. So, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up, okay? But we reviewed all these yesterday. My opinions have changed slightly with a few of them, and greatly for the Guardian here, the 9 Lives and the Guardian. But we'll get into that when we get to Ahri. But for now, the new cards, we have this one. Children of the Forest. A 8-mana slow spell. Summon ephemeral copies of the 3 strongest followers you've recalled this game. So, my initial reaction to this is it's an Ionia harrowing, in a way. It's 1 mana less, and you only get 3 units. I guess in a way it's better because you're playing a recall deck, so you don't want your units to actually be dying a whole lot. You want to block then recall. So if you're recalling a lot and you're not letting your units die, it's technically a better harrowing in a way. You only get 3 units, but you get the 3 strongest. Oh, never mind. Hold up. Wait. Summon an ephemeral copy of the 3 strongest followers. You recalled this game. Never mind, it's trash. It's complete trash. Yeah, no, never mind, it's complete trash. It only hits followers. It doesn't hit champions. Why does it say followers? If it just said the 3 strongest units, it'd be reasonably okay. It's 1 mana less than harrowing. Gives you 3 less units, and does not hit champions. I wish it was better. I don't know if I have anything else to say like that. Like, I'll come back to it if something changed my mind. But for now, nah. Trash tier. And then we have... Oh, God, don't make me pronounce this. Sinin, Thousand Tail. 6 mana, 3/5. When I'm summoned, draw 2 and give all other allies +1/+1 this round. Okay. Okay, I think a good comparison to this would be something similar to like a Cythria effect. Cythria is a 6 mana 6/6 attack. Give other allies +1/+1 and fearsome this round. That's on attack, though. This one's, when I'm summoned, you draw 2 and give other allies +1/+1 this round. A 3/5. I like this card. I like this card a lot. I think it actually could be a really good finisher. Potentially. Mainly because it's really... If you have Ahri, and you go 6 mana, play it, buff my field, draw 2. The draw 2 effect alone is really good. Like, even on average, like, that's 3 mana worth of effect right there. It's the way I look at it, right? Like, even with discounted cards, like the Bandle City card that has a discount effect where it only costs 3 instead of 5. Drawing 2 in this game is a 3 mana effect when discounted, usually. So... would I pay... Oh, it's not the best way to look at it, because you gotta look at when you play this. But an effective way is you're paying 3 mana to draw 2 in this game on average. So would you pay 3 extra mana to also get a 3/5 that buffs all your other allies this round +1/+1? I'd say yes. And considering the fact that Ahri makes this 1 cheaper, that means that if the game runs late, you can recall this, play it, draw 2, recall it again, and play it again, because it only costs 5 mana and you can have 10. So, really good. Plus, it constantly refills your hand. And it's not a bad target for things like Homecoming. You can play this, buff your unit, make them more resilient, and draw 2 cards. Then you can just chump block with it, bounce it back to your hand, and play it again. Like, that's just a very good effect. I don't know if the card will actually see play when there are other cards that can buff units. Like, the Ahri playstyle seems very much centered around her, where you'd rather play Twin Disciplines, right? And just buff the Ahri's attack a lot higher. But I don't think that that's a problem for this card. I don't think that that makes this card less valuable. And in some ways, even ignoring the recall synergies. If you are playing a mid-range-ish deck, I would run this card. I don't I don't think it's a tempo loss. As long as you have a half-decent board, getting +1/+1 on a defensive turn and drawing 2 and getting a 3/5 body is really good. So I have no problems with this. Thousand Tails actually looked pretty good. I don't know if it would make it just because of room issues in an Ahri deck, but I could definitely see it in a bunch of mid-range decks. A mid-range card that buffs and draws is nothing to scoff at, and I like this a lot. Alright, next card we have is the Wind Singer. 6 mana, 4/3. Play, recall a unit. Okay. So it's Wheel of Ionia. You are paying 2 mana more to have a 4/3. You're paying 2 mana more than a Wheel of Ionia for a Wheel of Ionia effect that makes a 4/3 body. That's real good. That's really nuts, actually, because, again, if you're thinking you can play and bounce, bounce and play, whatever, you play this unit, you pay 6 mana, you bounce it, you get a unit on field, and you bounce an opponent's annoying unit to their hand. Okay, cool. Recall it to your hand, it's now only 5 mana. You're paying 1 extra mana for a body. Plus, and that's not even the worst of it, you're paying 2 extra mana for the potential to recall it. You play a Will of Ionia, you put it on the stack, it gets countered, or it works, it recalls the enemy unit, and then it's done. With this one, while it's on the field, there's always the chance that you can retreat it back to your hand. And yeah, you can't recall it like a 4-cost unit, but, or return, but you can totally just play it again the next turn, even if Ahri's not on the field. Having another Will of Ionia. Opponent drops something like, They Who Endure, Tryndamere. Name these big, powerful units. And do you know how annoying it is to go, well, I'm going to develop a unit and bounce something back to your hand. It's like a super concussive palm. Except instead of stunning, you recall. And you get a bigger unit. That's really good. Alright. Like, other implications for the Windsinger, like, I don't know. There's always... because it's a play effect, though. Like, looking at the downsides, it's a play effect. Which means that the support we've been given, like the tree landmark that we got, it will not work with the Windsinger as well. With the Thousand Tails, summoning extra ephemeral copies of it is amazing because you'll get the summon effect. But the Windsinger, you don't get that. So it only works with hard recall. So a lot of these recall unit from like the Tailcloak Matriarch won't work as well with Windsinger, but I still think it's a very good card. Would I use it over Will of Ionia? I think that I would. I would, instead of running Will of Ionia, I'd run Homecoming in a deck with this card, and instead of Will, run Windsinger, because it's just a better Will. Now, it is at slow speed, mind you. That's another downside, but the spam ability, I think, makes it very much so worth it. And then we have Charm, which is Ahri's champion spell. Recall an ally to give an enemy vulnerable this round at focus speed. I don't hate this card. I feel like it's a little lackluster compared to the other cards we've gotten so far, but there's still synergy here. It's a focus speed recall and give vulnerable, which means beginning of your turn, you recall your droplet to hand, draw a card, and you give an enemy vulnerable. That's not a bad effect at all. I don't think I would ever main deck this card, but it's a champion spell, which means that I think the better way to evaluate it is Ahri's on field. You draw a second Ahri. Is this the card you want to see? And honestly, I'd say yes. If Ahri is on the field with her ability to swap into... before she levels up, her ability to swap once can dictate you get a favorable block for the second unit, the one she swaps into. And if she's leveled up, then you get a reduction on the unit you recall, and that alone can be good because you can spam out summon effects. So I do not think I would ever main deck Charm. But I would love that. But it works really, really well as Ahri's champion spell. It works so well. And not only that, but it's just focus speed. It's focus speed vulnerable, which is really good. Like, it's vulnerable can be very underrated sometimes. The ability to make your opponent block how you want them to. It's like what's that card? Is it Shakedown, I think? Yeah, Shakedown. Yeah, Shakedown is 1 mana, deal 2 to an ally to give 2 enemies vulnerable. Now, it grants them vulnerable until the end of turn, but this doesn't have much of a downside. It can. If you're on the back foot and you're in a bad spot and you can't afford to recall a unit, then yeah, it's not as good. But Shakedown kind of has the same issue where you have to deal 2 to your own unit. Likewise, if you're just in a bad spot where you can't afford to take the 2 damage, it's a dead card. So yes, it has the potential to be a dead card sometimes, but if Ahri's on, like we said, I'm not running this as a main deck card. I'm running it with Ahri, using it as Ahri's charm. So with that being said, I'd say it's pretty good. The best champ spell she could have possibly had? Honestly, yes. Out of the cards we've seen, if one of her champ spells was going to be one of the new cards, probably the best she could have gotten. And the one that makes the most sense, of course. And now, let's talk about the lady of the hour, Ahri herself. I am still geeking out so hard that I called her ability on her level 2 side. I cannot stress how much of a... Oh, this would just fix the recall archetype as, you know, a whole. It wouldn't even be busted. It'd just make the cards good. And they did it! And they did other things. And she's only 2 mana. I know in the video they showed her being ran with Yasuo, but real talk, Ahri Kennen is just going to be stupid. You have 2 early game recall spammable units that are just so good. Because turn 1, Dancing Droplet. Turn 2, Ahri. Swing. Ahri first strikes. Opponent blocks the Ahri with a 3/3. It doesn't matter. Ahri first strikes. Swaps with the Dancing Droplet, which was elusive, and therefore your opponent probably didn't block it. The Dancing Droplet gets recalled to your hand. You draw a card from Dancing Droplet's effect, and then Ahri hits them for 2. And then you start throwing out your Kennens. And it just gets crazy. And late game, you have the Thousand-Tailed for a late game powerhouse card. Like, this is just... She's so ridiculous. Her leveled up form is probably one of the strongest for their archetype. Like archetype champions, like Ziggs and Xerath with landmarks. They have easy level up conditions. Like, let's be honest, like, they're fairly easy to get off. And they do still synergize with the landmarks, but they don't have like that, we make the landmarks just super efficient and so much better than they were before. Pike gets a really powerful effect, but it's only for Pike. It's not like he buffs lurkers to the degree. Ahri has a silly, easy level up condition. I'm not saying it's fast. It's just Easy. It'd be like playing a Demacian champion, and his level up condition is you've attacked 5 times this, or sorry, you've attacked 3 times this game. Well, it's not going to happen till turn 6, but I guarantee you it's going to happen every turn. Ahri's going to be recalling every other turn. She probably will have turns where she recalls multiple units. Well, the deck, you will recall multiple units. I don't know how fast she's going to level up. I haven't even thought about deck building yet. But I guarantee you that she will probably be leveled up by turn 5. Turn 5 to 6, I think, is an easy. Because Homecoming gives you a third of your level up condition, because it recalls 2 units, yours and your opponent's. And she recalls a unit every time she swings, as long as she has someone to the right of her. It's going to be easy. Like, if I say turn 5 or 6, now that I'm looking at it, it's probably closer to turn 4 or 5. She'll level up. And when that happens, the efficiency is just going to drown you. Dancing Droplet is going to be recalled every turn, and when it is, it's going to draw you a card. Your Thousand Tails is going to draw you 2 cards a turn, because she recalls your whole board if you want. It's similar to the Vladimir effect, but Vladimir affects just everything to the right of him gets the drain effect. Everything to the right of Ahri will get recalled. But that also means that if you go, man, I don't have enough mana to play out my whole my hand again, even after the discount of them getting recalled, you just put some units to the left of her. They won't get recalled, and you'll get value. She doesn't even hit your whole board indiscriminately. You choose how this works. Like, the outplay potential is redonkulous with this card. The fact that she gains elusive as well when she levels up. She's a 2-mana 3/4 elusive first strike that gets to hit for every one of your units. It's so good. And frankly, with Kinnan, Kinnan's effect is Kinnan is harder to level up than Ahri. Okay? Kinnan says you had to have played the same unit 5 times this game, which means that more than likely you're going to have to recall and play the same unit over and over again, unless you get lucky and top deck the same unit from your deck. But Ahri does that as well. And just like Ahri, Kinnan doesn't have to see this happen. If you bounce and play your Dancing Droplet 5 times, and then draw Kinnan late game, you don't care, because it's only 1 mana for each of them. Both dropping Dancing Droplet and Kinnan are 1 mana, both of which have amazing play and or recall effects. Dancing Droplet refills your hand. Kinnan gives you the Mark of the Storm, which lets you stun down like elusive blockers or units that are just tough enough to survive the Ahri strikes. And then you just stun down the board, you swing out with Ahri, hit recall, and then you replay the board, get their summon effects again, or their recall effects. It nets value over and over again. She's so good. It's such a good card. And I keep gushing about it, but like looking back at it, I still don't think in the Ahri deck you will run the Pathless Ancient. But looking way back at the Kinnan support cards, Tornado Warrior is busted. Okay? Like, we got the whole recall package, so we're actually in discussion mode. We're not talking about Ahri specifically, but like the recall archetype cards that we've gotten. Tornado Warrior with Ahri is so good, because you play the Tornado Warrior, and you recall it, you play it, you recall it, and it keeps getting these buffs over and over again. And Ahri keeps popping it back to your hand until the Tornado Warrior has all the stats you want. It has Quick Attack, Overwhelm, Spell Shield being the big one, and Elusive. And it's like a 6/2 for 2. And then when you're done bouncing it back to your hand, when you say, my Tornado Warrior's big enough, you swing with it to the left of Ahri, and it just gets its big normal attack in. The Cloud Stance card from the Gust Monk, good. I would not run Cloud Stance, but I'd run a Gust Monk. Has a decent summon effect. There's nothing wrong with that. Quicken has a lot more utility now, with Ahri's base attack being only 2, therefore going to 3. Quicken can recall it, which is good. I'm not a fan of the Thunder Fist and the Crashing Thunder, but Kennen, the Tornado, and I'd even say something like the the Raisu, the Silent. I think we should look at those 2 cards as well. Like, I think Kennen's good. I think the Tornado Warrior is amazing. The 2 big ones is Raisu, the Silent Monk, and 9 Lives. Both of these cards have spammable summon effects. Both of these cards are no longer 5 mana, they're 4. And that means that if Ahri's leveled up, Raisu the Silent Storm is 4 mana to summon a 7/3 impact. That's a lot more manageable. That's a lot more manageable. Because what you can do is, we're assuming you have leveled up Ahri. You play Raisu, and you get the 7/3 impactor as well. When you attack, you put the 7/3 impactor on the left of Ahri and the Raisu on the right. That way, Ahri will recall it back to your hand, reduce its cost by 1, and so you can play it again. If you're in late game, you can definitely do this 2 times a turn and still leave mana open, even if it's only 1 or 2, for spells, which is a big deal in Ionia, keeping Nopify mana open. And to an even greater extent, 9 lives only costing 4 now means that you can, if you're late game and you have 13 mana, I play 9 lives. Okay, you played it for 4 because you already leveled up on the field when you returned it. Yeah, and I got max mana. I play 9 lives. I get my Guardian and my 1-cost unit, and then I'm going to return it to my hand with insert recall effect. Homecoming. Bounce the Guardian back to my hand. I spent 4 more mana for Homecoming. I can play it again, get another unit, so that now you have 3 units on the field, and you returned an enemy to the field, and you swing out with the Ahri on the left, the Guardian, and the 2 1-cost units he summoned on the right. Ahri does her thing, recall flip, bounces them all back to her hand as she attacks down the line, and those 1-cost units go back to your hand, and the Guardian. The Guardian now costs 4, and the units cost 0, which means you get to play them again for free. And when your opponent tries to swing out at you in retaliation, going like, whatever, swing out, try to kill you, you have a 4 mana, get 2 chump blockers in your hand. 4 mana for, like, I know yesterday I said 2 1s like the norm, but let's say you get a 1/1. Okay? Like, yes, there's a few 0/1s you could get, but on average, let's just say that you get a 1/1. That's like the most middle of the road you could get. 4 mana, burst out 4/3 worth of stats is stupidly efficient. Especially in this go wide mass recall archetype. It's so good. I mean, there's so many implications for all this reduction and whatnot. Oh my god! What's that spell? The monk spell. The one that, Singular Will. Singular Will with Ahri leveled up. Pick an ally, Ahri, recall all other units and landmarks. that means that you can put your opponent's entire board back into their hand. And you put your whole board back into your hand, except for your main creature. And all your other units get their costs reduced by 1. If you had a bunch of 1-drops on the board, they cost 0. Which means you can just play them again and swing with Ahri and recall them back to your hand and have Ahri do the damage. Yes, Ahri only has 3 attack, but that's so easy to buff. That's so easy to buff. Twin Disciplines alone. Like, that's a late game combo, but Singular Will as a one-of in Ahri decks, I think that might be the way to do it, because self-recall is just so good. Not to mention Go Get It. Like, we're talking about old cards that are going to see the light of day again. I think that Go Get It might be one of the most staple cards in this deck. It's fast speed, recall an ally, get an ephemeral copy of it. I don't know how I don't know if Ahri's leveled up and you go get it. Does the Ahri that goes back to your hand get discounted? Not that it matters, because it'll be cost 0 this turn anyway, but still, it's just a good tech card because it not only recalls, but it leaves a unit in its place. Especially with someone like Kinnan, it can be really silly. And I think that the Monastery might see play now. Because with Monastery, it's worth the investment. If you play the Monastery, the whole problem was you're paying, everyone was like, I'm paying 1 more extra mana to summon my unit again. And that's just not worth it. But with Ahri leveled up on the field, you're not paying 1 extra mana. You're just playing the creature's cost, and you get a guaranteed recall effect every turn. It's going to be so good. This whole, I'm loving, this is so good. Kinnan's Marks of the Storm covered a lot of recall's weakness, but like I said, once again, called it in my last video, that cost reduction by 1 is so big. It solves so many of the issues of recalling my unit. I have to pay mana to recall a unit, to play it again. That's a lot of mana, and it's hard to spam out things that are worth it. With this, no issue. No problem at all. It works out great. Throat's starting to get a sword. Like, I'm loving this. This is so good. I love this to death. And I'm so excited for tomorrow when this goes live. I'm going to be making several videos. Tomorrow, I'm going to be posting new decks. Gameplay videos will be coming out tomorrow. And I am going to go ahead and ask in the comments below, let's start a poll. Which champion do you want me to build a deck around first? And I know some of the champions go together, like Ahri and Kinnan, but I won't necessarily put them together. So between Kinnan, Pantheon, Rumble, and Ahri, leave a comment below. The comment, the most picked, I'll read through every comment. I don't care how many there are. If this somehow got thousands of views and thousands of comments, I'll tally them up. And the one that gets the most view will be the first deck I pick to make a video on when this goes live. And then at the end of that video, we'll do it again and again until we go through them all. And we'll probably end up making multiple decks for each of them. So, thank you guys so much for being here and listening to me ramble for nearly 40 minutes. So, I'm super hyped. Again, I called it. Leave a like for that alone. And I will see you guys tomorrow with gameplay videos. Thank you so much for coming and listening to me. Have a great day. And I will see you in the next video.